Many were upset, and rightfully so, that the Brewers did not make a big splash on trading deadline day last Thursday. Well, Friday into this weekend made you forget all about that. The most dominating weekend in Milwaukee Brewers history. I'm going to tell you why you should never doubt this team. That's next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I hate to beat an old horse, but I've been watching this team since the early days of the franchise, and I've seen it all. Mostly bad with the Milwaukee Brewers. Mostly bad. We've been teased by great starts of the season, great finishes in September, but I'm telling you, I have never seen something like this of the Milwaukee Brewers. Not in 1982, not in the 1987, 2000s, nothing quite like what the Milwaukee Brewers are doing right now. Hey, everybody, Chuck Freimund, Locked On Brewers. Good to have you along here late Sunday night, early Monday morning, and the most dominated weekend in Milwaukee Brewer history on a 3-game stretch. 56 hits, the most ever in a 3-game stretch. They had over 70 base runners. They came back on Sunday, thought the Miz was going to be on the mound. We find out a couple hours before the first pitch, the Miz has got a knee contusion. What? Another injury? They throw Logan Henderson out there. He makes a car drive. He drives in his car, driven by his father and stepmother. They drive 4 hours to get him to Washington, D.C. because there's no flight. Gets on the mound on Sunday morning, goes out and toes the rubber barefooted before the game, comes back, gets stressed, goes out there, and helps carry this to the win. And the Brewers' offense just was amazing this weekend. I think that there's people out there who have wanted to doubt this team for so long now. But I'm telling you, these guys are the real deal. They are. You don't fall into a record of 67-44. And I really don't want to hear anybody say, well, the Washington Nationals aren't any good. BS to that. BS to that, man. You go out there and you put a hurting on 56 hits through a 3-game stretch against a major league team. Last time I checked, the Brewers weren't minus 800 on the money line this weekend. Oh, no. The live line, after they got up 5-0, might have been. No, they were like minus 140, minus 180, minus 160, whatever in those 3 games. But the Brewers just went out and dominated a bad baseball team. And yeah, Washington isn't very good right now. I get it. They traded some of their players, but before that, they weren't any good. But still, the Brewers went out there and didn't mess around with these guys. Did not mess around with these guys. Didn't dilly-dally at all. Right off the very beginning, offensively, just exploded on these guys. And we wondered if the Brewers had enough offensive firepower. Yeah. And so many guys getting into act. And each and every day of this weekend, we were dealt another big blow. First of all, on Friday, we find out Jackson Churrill could be out for a longer time. And then on Saturday, Sal Frelick leaves the game. Why is he leaving the game now? Knee soreness. And then the news was Sunday morning with the Miz going on the injured list. What? Logan Henderson getting called up. The Brewers are winning games with one arm tied behind their back. This franchise has had both arms tied behind the back for the most part, right? They're working against a few things. They've always have. But still, these guys are going out. It's laughable because they're doing things that are nearly impossible right now. They're getting guys hurt. Their guys are getting injured, and they're still going on and say, "Oh, next guy up. Hey, you over here, Lockridge, put on a uniform. Yeah, I know you've been here very long. We're going to put you in the leadoff spot Friday." Murphy says, "We're going to play you in this game." Okay, thanks. Where are you going to bat me? We're going to bat leadoff. This is your first game of the team. Yeah, we're going to bat leadoff. Get in there and just go ahead and produce. Give us a factor all weekend. Brandon Lockridge, just kind of a throw-in with the Cortez deal. Brewers saw something in him. He had no problem putting him in the top of the order, and he played all weekend long. Just amazing. Guys like that. Logan Henderson comes up, produces. Trading deadline. Yeah, we were all wondering what was going on. But maybe the Brewers said, well, you know what? I said at the time on Friday, maybe they didn't think they were going to be this good, that they were maybe overplaying their hand. Maybe they were overachieving. I don't think that's the case. Every opportunity they had this weekend, they just went out and took advantage of that team. Wild pitches by Washington, pass balls, pickoff throws, bad errors. Brewers just feasted on this team. They were like hungry sharks on that team. Not giving up. Making these games no doubters. Man, I'm telling you, as a long-suffering Brewers fan, this is so fun to watch. To sit down in front of my TV when it's nice weather outside, to get out there and put the TV outside for a little bit. You know, you can watch these on iPads and all that on your phone, which is great. And I'm just enjoying it. Watching this game from beginning to end. Just enjoying, just taking it in, putting my hands behind my head and just watching this beatdown they're putting on teams. Because we've been on the other end before. And I'm watching them do it to Washington, and who, knocked the Brewers out of that wild card in 2019. So that's enjoyment for me. I know none of these guys were on that team back then, but still, it's great to see the Brewers have this regular season success. And I know I'm not even going to talk about the postseason success. I get it. But I'm just enjoying the regular season for now. And I'm enjoying the Brewers being the best team in baseball and enjoying a 2-game lead over the Cubs. And doubly was fun on Saturday to see the Cubs blow a 3-1 lead. Actually, a 3-0 lead they blew, right? They blew a 3-0 lead. And, they came back and had a walk-off on Sunday. Still, even though the Cubs took 2 or 3, the Brewers swept their series and have a 2-game lead on the Cubs. And the Cubs fans, you know what, they have nothing to say but to call us names. And you can keep on doing that, but we got the best record in baseball, and we are not turning back at all. Murphy on Apple TV on Friday talked about his pocket pancake. How come we never knew about this? How did we never know about the pocket pancake? Why did he reveal that to Apple TV? I had never heard of it before. And now you go on Twitter and you go on Facebook, you see people selling T-shirts, the pocket pancake T-shirts. 6th time in franchise history that they have swept a season series from somebody. That doesn't seem right. 6 times in franchise series history, they swept the season series. They did it with the Dodgers already this year. 6 times. That just seems a little odd. Whereas how as bad the Brewers have been in their 55 years. And overall, the product has not been good, as we know. But this product is amazing. Just amazing. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. And I got this off of Matt Carroll. Matt Carroll, friend of the show, who's been on the show. He tweeted this out, some numbers that the Brewers had this weekend. I mean, Joey Ortiz. We didn't want Joey Ortiz on this team anymore. All right. This weekend, he goes out and 6 of 14, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs. Turang. 2 home run game for the first time since high school for Turang on Sunday. All he did was this weekend 5 for 11, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Andrew Vaughn, wow. I mean, 6 for 15, a home run, 3 RBIs. Isaac Collins, he's got to be getting some Rookie of the Year votes, right? Not only is he rock solid defensively, 4 for 10, a double, 2 RBIs, just always clutch. Whether he's walking or whatever, scoring runs, Isaac Collins is just, I think he might be a little bit overperforming a little bit. We'll see. Time will tell on that, but Isaac Collins just tremendous. Sal Frelick, 2 for 2. Obviously got hurt Saturday. Was not in the lineup on Friday. Poor fans were going crazy. So was I. The Sunday lineup on a Friday night, coming off a day off, they put Lockridge in there, and he's been great. Lockridge this weekend, 4 of 11, 4 RBIs, 2 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a stolen base. Perkins, 2 home runs on Friday night, 4 for 15 in the series, 4 RBIs. I'm going to save this one for last. a guy who I just tore apart many times. And even as soon as May, I was just so frustrated. And I even said last offseason, if this was the NFL, we would cut this guy. The Brewers would cut this guy because of his salary. Christian Yelich, 7 for 13 this weekend, a homer, 6 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 5 walks. So he was on base 12 times. And that's in addition to everything else he's done. You know, if you want to say, well, who's the MVP of this team? I know I said Freddie Peralta, but I mean Christian Yelich. And you need at the heart of this order to be great. And Christian Yelich, they tried moving him to the leadoff spot last year to get him going. 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. But a guy like that needs to be in the heart of the order. And he's producing in the heart of the order. Batting fourth or third, 7 for 13, a homer, and 6 runs scored. Christian Yelich, amazing. The haters have disappeared on Christian Yelich because he's just been so good. And don't let anybody tell you, I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, the Brewers beat up another bad team, and they're playing another bad team here in the next 3 days. Playing the Atlanta Braves, who are just ahead of Washington in the standings. Don't look at it that way. No. Go out there, and yeah, I always set the bar at 2 or 3, but I feel like, yeah, some of these bad teams now are at a point we should be sweeping these guys. The Brewers are just that good. The Brewers are just that good. I remember playing softball at Waukesha back in the day on Thursday nights. If we had to play Curry Lindau in the city tournament, who was a home run hitting team, what can you do? You just throw your arms up, and they're hitting 15 home runs, and you're getting run ruled. The Brewers are run ruling teams these days, like Curry Lindau did back in the 90s at Saratoga Complex in Waukesha. All right, we come back. We're going to talk about those injuries and see how the Brewers will deal with those going forward. That Churio news, I knew there was something more to that. We'll get to all that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. You're tuned to the Monday episode here on Locked On Brewers. We're brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, by the way. 5 Hour Energy, the 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf, 20% off your order. Offer valid through September 30th. It is a great offer, and I'm telling you, you guys out there, take advantage of it. I use it for mental clarity. If I want to get on the round, get some morning golf in, get that energy going, get that mental clarity, or if I'm sitting down and doing some work, mental clarity, get that second kick maybe after lunch or so. 5 Hour Energy, I guarantee you it. And take my advice, the cherry 5 Hour Energy is amazing. Amazing. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. The number 5hourenergy.com. Use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf, and you'll see 20% off your order. The offer is only valid through September 30th. On one order, cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good with subscription orders. That's 5 Hour Energy. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day here on Locked On Brewers. And we're here Monday through Friday talking Brewers baseball with you here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And by the way, Packer fans, tune in to my guy Peter Bukowski on Locked On Packers. He's digging into it like he always does, man. Peter Bukowski, he is fantastic on his Packer coverage. All right, and I'm on his national show, Locked On Sports, from time to time. Let's get to these injuries here. We'll start with the one that happened that we learned about on Sunday morning. Jacob Mizorowski, a left labia contusion. He was hit on a comebacker against the Cubs earlier in the week, and he shook it off and said it was fine. But apparently he was not bouncing back from his bullpen sessions this week. Not bouncing back, and it got to a point where the Brewers just said, hey, we're just going to rest you for a few games. We're going to put you on the injured list. He said he just was not bouncing back. The velo wasn't there. And you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world anyway. Yeah, you don't want to see a guy get hurt. But my feeling is the Brewers were looking for a way to give the Miz some time off anyway. They don't want to be registered. His numbers are, his innings, his workload is being revved up there. And I know before you say, oh, come on, let's tough it up a little bit. No, I've been told by my buddy Adam McKelvey from Brewers.com. He always tells me, Chuck, this is not 1993 anymore. These guys aren't going out and playing 162 games, pitching 300 innings. No, they're this is the way baseball is these days. So him going on the injured list, missing a couple of starts. He's going to miss probably 2 starts. Not the worst thing in the world. So they'll rest him. And this is kind of an excuse for him to taper his innings a little bit. So I wouldn't get too worried. It's not like it's a major injury. It's a left tibia contusion that they suffered. And I just think it really is an excuse for the Brewers to settle him down a little bit. And things are going well. You had a chance to bring Logan Henderson up and get some, make some major league starts here in the next couple. I'm sure he's going to get the starts. So that's okay. That's okay. So they'll set Miz down for a little bit, and Logan Henderson will come out. And if he was anything like he was on Sunday or in his previous starts, I mean, he's been amazing in all his starts so far. Hey, we're good with that. So don't fret too much over Miz going on the injured list. Frelick is going to be day-to-day, it sounds like, with the knee. So we'll take that. He could be in lineup one day, out the next. He's got knee soreness. Knee soreness, we'll see where that goes. It's not like it's an ACL or anything. Apparently he's got some knee soreness. I don't know, tendonitis, whatever it is. The Brewers are saying knee soreness. So whatever it is, we got to go what they say. So that's knee soreness. Chourio, on the other hand, I knew this. I said on a podcast last week, guys, you can go back and check. Something was up on this. Something was up because the Brewers said he left with hamstring spasms. Now, that sounded weird to begin with. I mean, hamstring spasms. I had never heard of that injury ever. Hamstring spasms. I heard of leg spasms, not a hamstring spasm. So when Murph was asked when he went out of the game last Tuesday about it, he said he really didn't want to comment much about it. Let's see what it was all about. Because a reporter asked him, Murph, the spasms things, it can't be that big of a deal, right? Murph says, well, let's wait to see how everything turns out and all that. He probably knew more. It was not hamstring spasms. That's what the Brewers organization was letting us out. And you know what? They don't have to tell us. That's none of our business, really, anyway. If it's going to help you get an advantage on a team or whatever, you don't have to. These guys aren't going to tell us everything that's going on with the team. I've learned that firsthand over the years. These guys aren't honest with us. So they're going to BS us and tell us, give us some stuff. I know that. I guarantee you. Now, he's got some hamstring stuff that going on, and the reporter asked him the other day, well, could he be back in less than a month? Murphy says, could be. Could he be back more? Could he be gone more than a month? Murphy says, could be. Murphy being coy. So their Brewers basically are tight-lipped. They are not giving away what's going on with Chourio. But something is up. It's more than muscle spasms in the hamstring or the hamstring spasm. The hamstring's not a muscle. It's a ligament, right? That's where I got to have Shannon come in here and give me the details. But, yeah, hamstring spasms, BS, something's going on there. And whatever it is, that's their business with him. So hopefully we just want Chourio to come back. But when Murphy says could be, it could be longer than a month, well, you got to raise an eyebrow. Hopefully it's not longer because they need him, obviously. And I know the Brewers won this weekend without him, but to get where you really want to go, you need all your guys in there, right? I mean, the Brewers were able to get done without Frelick and destroy this team this weekend, and they're on a roll. I know they're on a major high right now, right? But you got to have Jackson Chourio in this lineup, man. He's one of the best producers on this team. You need him. You need him back. But we'll monitor that. I hear any news, I'll let you know. Brandon Woodruff. How about this guy? 5 starts, 3-0 record, 2.22 earned run average. This was a guy who, had 10 rehab starts, suffered one injury after another, mounted up to 3 different injuries that he had. comes back, and his velocity initially was low, and on a couple of his rehab starts, come back, makes his return, and it's been great. Got up to 96 on Saturday. I mean, he's going out there routinely throwing ace-like material out there. This guy's ace-like stuff. Now, obviously, the question is he going to cash in at the free agent market and go somewhere else? Us, being the naive Brewer fans, can he give us the hometown discount? We'll worry about that another day. But Woodruff, boy, tell me what team doesn't want to have that guy with that stuff right now, being the competitor and the good guy that he is. Brandon Woodruff, good for him. Everybody in that organization cheering for a guy like Woodruff for the amount of work that he put into this, and to see him beyond anybody's expectations. Woodruff said, he's just going out there and having fun. Doesn't worry too much about it. He just wants to be healthy coming out of the start. And he has been. He's enjoying contributing to this team. This guy didn't know he did not know where his career was going. His career could have been over with that shoulder surgery. Could have been over. But now he's back in the middle of this, toward the top of this rotation. Well, it doesn't matter who you throw. They're all great. All these guys in this rotation. But, I mean, he's part of this rotation. He's part of the reason why they are what they are, because he's come in off the injured list. And again, 5 starts, 3-0, 2.22 earned run average. He's been amazing. Just been great. Good stuff. One other side note, learned Sunday night, it's been out there. Brewers announced Jesus Mate and Luis Pena, two of their top prospects in the organization, 18 years old. Well, I'm sure a lot of teams inquired about what the Brewers were going out there and trying to deal at the trading deadline. I'm sure they got a lot of people, a lot of the opponents out there who possible trade partners were interested in Jesus Mate and Luis Pena. And the Brewers were not going to about to part with either one of those guys. But they're going to be at AAA, or they're going to be at the single A Appleton now, right up the road. So that is good for the Timber Rattlers. Timber Rattlers, just a well-run organization. The way they do things up there, Rob Zerjaff and company, just been the Timber Rattlers a long time. Just a fun place to go watch a game, and good for them. They're going to have Mate and Pena. We knew it was a matter of time before those two were going to get there, and they are going to get there right now. One other note, Brian Hudson and Elvis Peguero, two guys who were cut loose by the Brewers last week, picked up by the White Sox. I feel like the White Sox pick up any guys the Brewers don't want. I wonder if Matt Arnold calls down to Chicago and says, hey, got a couple of guys coming out on the market there. We don't need anymore. You better get in on this. Who are you going to get out there? Well, it's going to be Hudson and Peguero. Okay, thanks. We're on it. And the White Sox all over it. Picked them up off of waivers. I feel like the Brewers have done that with so many different guys. The White Sox, we're turning things around a little bit. They're not as bad as they were last year. In fact, I think they surpassed their win total already for the entire 2024. They surpassed it already here in early August. All right, when we come back, we'll set up the Atlanta series. We'll tee that up. That's coming up next. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And this episode brought to you by the great folks at FanDuel. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, I'll tell you what, you got to love your live betting. I mean, I hope you didn't live bet the Brewers this weekend because you were getting like minus 1,000 after the first inning or so. But on them early, I mean, God, if you bet on the Brewers this year, I saw this stat. As a betting favorite this year, the Brewers have won 67% of their games as a betting favorite this year. That's an amazing number. Well, summer sports are in full swing, NFL as well. FanDuel, track your favorite matchups, daily promotions, fun ways to bet, easy to use, fast payouts, same game parlays. New to FanDuel, new customers, bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. What a great way to open an account, right? Get $150 bonus bucks bet to bet on this Brewers Braves series. The Brewers are like a 120, 130 favorite to open up on Monday night. Open up the FanDuel app today. Visit FanDuel.com to get started and get the $150 in bonus bets. First bet wins with FanDuel. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers. Drop my script on the floor. I got a script here. I got some notes here. A lot of times I go off script, obviously. Most of the time, I just got to jot down a few notes here before we do the podcast. You got to do a little show prep before coming on. The Braves are 47-63, just ahead of Washington in the standings. And the Braves are supposed to compete for a World Series championship, but they got off to that slow start this year and never quite recovered. They have been absolutely terrible. They're coming off a win Sunday against Cincinnati 4-2. Quinn Priester is going to get the ball Monday night in Game 1 against Atlanta. Eric Fetty, who's been a disappointment, 3-11, a .533 earned run average. Wentz is going to pitch on Tuesday against Peralta, and then Quintana against Strider on Wednesday. 3 night games, no getaway day. Usually that Wednesday, that final game of the series is an afternoon game. No, 3 night games. And then the Brewers have the day off on Thursday, come back home and face the New York Mets. They come home and face the New York Mets on a team that I just can't figure out this year. Team I just can't figure out. We'll get to that problem a little bit later on in the week. Hey, guys, this has been fun, hasn't it, man? The Brewers are rocking and rolling. They're dominant. They're one of the best teams in baseball. And I'm telling you what, their pitching staff is great. Their bullpen is great. Guys, they're coming in and producing. It's a cohesive unit. I know they got some guys hurt, but Pat Murphy, he is the best manager in baseball right now. Best manager in baseball. And you know what? Nationally, people are jumping aboard. I've complained before about people not jumping. People are jumping aboard because the Brewers are the fresh face in baseball. They are the fresh face in baseball. My podcast, you get it on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet because you great Brewer fans out there. And if you're already tuned into the audio podcast, go to my growing YouTube page, Locked On Brewers on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. You Brewer fans make us your first listen to every day, and you're the reason. You are the reason we're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. Hit me up on Twitter as well, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. DM me with questions. You know I'll always get back to you. I will. May not be right away, but I will get back to you. And always, and as if you're at it, let me know where you're watching the video or where you're listening to the podcast. Wherever you tune in your podcast, let me know what part of the country you're in. Let me know. I always want to know that. Until late Monday night, we'll be joining you after the Braves game. Late Monday night. Early Tuesday morning. My name is Chuck Freimund. Great to have you along. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day.